Let's take an updated look at the Chiefs wide receiver room, as one receiver had their best day of camp yesterday, another one seems to be struggling with drops, while another one literally had 0. Then let's dive into all 4 pressers from yesterday, including Coach Spags, Andrew Wylie, Carlos Dunlap, Skyy Moore, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, aka the best red beard of the Midwest, or sometimes known as the soft-spoken, burly-bearded Burr, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs, so definitely make sure to sub if you're new for the most thorough content on the platform. Hit that like button if the Broncos are the great value brand of the AFC West. And let's get into this video. This one's going to be a breakdown of all 4 pressers from yesterday, because there was a freaking lot of good content in there. So much, in fact, that yesterday's video was about to be like 26 minutes long, and I said, screw that. Who on earth would listen to me talk for that long in one video? And so I made the executive decision as my own boss to instead break up yesterday's video into 2 parts, this one being part 2. So most of this was recorded yesterday, but it's quality content from yesterday's beard, so I know you will enjoy. I mean, I would like to think I make these pressers a little bit more interesting than just listening to them straight through, especially considering the fact you cannot even hear the reporters' questions. Now, some of you may agree with that assessment, while others may not, and guess what? If you don't agree, I don't freaking care, because when the Redbeard speaks, the kingdom listens. Anyway, before jumping into these pressers, I do want to look at some additional clips that I found from yesterday's practice and talk receivers for a bit here, starting with this standout receiver that I didn't talk too much about yesterday. That is the veteran on the team, the fast guy himself, Mecole Hardman. Matt McMullen, Chiefs senior reporter himself, had this to say yesterday about Hardman. QB Patrick Mahomes targeted Hardman early and often throughout the offensive periods of Thursday's practice, connecting with the veteran receiver numerous times without a single drop. And that included multiple deep receptions that primarily took place on crossing routes, allowing Hardman to show off his speed and split the defense. And I do have proof of one of those passes, which you've been watching right now, as he's hit perfectly in stride for an easy TD. So I do like that. A great day for Hardman, who has a lot to prove this season with Hill gone and on a contract year. And we all know he has a chip on his shoulder the size of, I don't know, an iceberg, let's just say. Another standout receiver from yesterday was Cornell Powell, who seemed to make the most of his opportunity with DeRuse Fountain out with a groin injury and was said to have his best day of camp yesterday. Now, this was against the second team's defense, but still, it's a step in the right direction for last year's draft pick, who is still fighting for a spot on the roster. Another receiver to talk about real quick is MVS, who had some drops yesterday, and ESPN's Adam Teicher said this has been a problem for MVS so far in camp, which is the first I've heard about, so definitely a little bit concerning, but as you can see here, he was indeed able to snag this underthrown pass. So it's not all bad news here. And again, MVS had 0 drops last season, so hopefully it's not a problem this season. Another receiver that has had a quiet camp is Josh Gordon, who did snag a pass here and then somehow almost fell over, tripping over an invisible brick of nothingness. He definitely seems to be one that is fighting for his life to make the 53-man roster, or at the very least, the practice squad. The wide receiver battle is certainly an interesting one to monitor, as things just keep changing / progressing. You have MVS dropping passes, Josh Gordon staying quiet after making multiple splashes during OTAs. Then you have Cornell Powell having a standout day yesterday, and Mecole did not drop a single pass. And then, of course, you have rookie Skyy Moore continuing to shine for multiple reasons that I talked about in depth in yesterday's video, so watch that after this one if you haven't already. And with all that being said, let's dive into all 4 of these pressers from yesterday like swim lessons. Here we go. Starting with Coach Spagnolia. According to Trent McDuffie's pronunciation, Spags says he isn't going to rush Dunlap onto the field as there's a lot to learn, but when Carlos has a decent grasp and is ready, they will definitely start working him in. He said Carlos functions well outside, which is a given considering he's a defensive end who plays on the outside, but Spags also talked about maybe having him play a bit inside as well. He just doesn't want to jump the gun and would like to get comfortable in one spot first. Spags then switched to talk about some of the other guys on the line, specifically rotational players such as Mike Dana and Tershawn Wharton. He spoke very highly of Dana, actually saying he's as solid as one can get in all facets of the game. What a compliment. Turk is the same way, said Spags, and he feels they have several guys like that who will rotate in and out of the line as the game goes on. Rotation is the name of the game, the theme of the D-line here in Kansas City, and he does not see that changing. Spags said, as of right now, nothing is carved in stone with a lot of these guys, and nobody is guaranteed a thing. They are simply mixing several players into the ones just to see how they handle things, and will soon begin putting together the puzzle known as the 53-man roster. Spags thought Jalen Watson had some good practices as far as his coverage is concerned. Watson was moving a bit slow early on, but quickly realized that does not work here in the NFL, so he's of course picked up the pace, which is very much needed. He then talked about first-rounder Trent McDuffie and his progress so far, and seems to be very happy with his progress.
I think he's done an outstanding job. Now, we'll probably move him around a little bit too, but we need to get him settled in a spot eventually. I think he's competed really well with the bunch of really good veteran wideouts we have. The thing I like about Trent is when it hasn't gone great for him, he's bounces right back up. That's a good quality.
So there you have it, straight from the lips of Spagnolia. He's happy with Trent so far, so we should be as well, especially considering they've been putting Trent McDuffie up against receivers like, I don't know, Mecole Hardman, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Juju Smith-Schuster. Spags is also happy with fourth-round pick Joshua Williams and likes the way he's been pressing at the line of scrimmage. He expects Williams to continue to get better and better as time goes on, as he should. Spags then mentioned the leadership role Frank Clark has really taken upon himself this year, which I've made note of in several videos already based on things Frank has said personally, but also shown out on the field, staying after and working with the newer guys, teaching, molding, encouraging them, all that fun stuff. And the little sponge, George Karlaftis, is absolutely eating all of that up, by the way, absolutely loving every single freaking second. And regarding Frank Clark's weight and him slimming down a bit, Spags doesn't seem all that concerned, and in fact seems to think it's actually a good thing.
I've always said this about Frank. He's powerful from here down. So even though Frank may look a little light, his long arms and his explosiveness from the hips down, I think he still has that.
Well, good, Spags. I really hope you're right. For the sake of the entire kingdom's stress levels and heart rate come game time. And speaking of game time, Spags is itching, not like an addict, but just itching to get his guys out there for these preseason games, and is wanting to look at the defensive play caller positions in particular to see how they're able to handle things.
As a general rule, the signal callers, the guys at the mic line, the backup positions, and the guy at the safeties positions, because we're going to need that.
And before Spags stepped away from the mic, he was asked about Rashad Fenton and how things are going to look for him once he's healthy and cleared to play again.
He's going to get right in there and be competing with that same group. I mean, he's played some good football for us, especially on the outside. We just want to get him healthy and get him back there. He'll be right in there.
All right, so Fenton, when healthy, will be right there in the mix, which honestly is expected because there's a ton of young guys at the corner position, and Spag needs all the experience he can get. Andrew Wylie was up next, saying he's been taking this time at camp to get even more comfortable at the right tackle position, and compared to last season, when he filled in that spot after Niang got injured, he is way more comfortable and seems to have settled in at right tackle, though in the offseason he said he still trains the guard position and even left tackle as well. You little Swiss Army knife, you. Good job. Wylie's goal is to continue being a versatile piece for the Chiefs' offensive line, no matter how he's used going forward. He's glad Orlando is back, who brings a lot of energy to the team and is obviously the left tackle for the team. And Andrew is excited for the new guys as well. New guys being Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, because they have that rookie year under their belt and are looking even better this go-round. Wylie is also excited about rookie Darian Hulk Smash Kennard and said he's learning quick, though Wylie is under the impression that he himself is still currently the guy for the right tackle spot.
You know, my game has a lot more to it out at right tackle. Like I just kind of mentioned, switching up sets. You know, I can see the defense a lot better now too. So I've grown a lot out at right tackle, and it's very comfortable for me. No, I still work both guard and tackle in the offseason. You know, I try to be that versatile piece that I kind of always have been here. So I don't stop working on my guard reps, and I continue to work on the left side as well. So the offseason for me is always kind of the same, working guard and tackle.
Okay, so he knew that when he signed here, he'd be playing right tackle. Alrighty then, that settles that until Niang is healthy at least. I don't know, right tackle is such a weird spot to me at the moment, but if Chiefs say Wylie is the guy, then Wylie is the guy until he's no longer the guy.
No, I mean, it was kind of implied that I'd be out at tackle this year, at least from my understanding. I entered free agency as a tackle, And teams were looking at me as a tackle, and I knew when I signed here I'd be playing tackle.
And at the end of the day, no matter who is playing right tackle, Mahomes can, of course, just easily scramble to the right per usual if the pocket collapses. Next up was the new guy, but at the same time, the veteran on the D-line, Carlos Dunlap. He had a few teams interested in him, but really liked what he was hearing from the Chiefs.
But I liked what I heard from the Chiefs. That's why I came out here to meet with them in person, to see how I fit, see how they would use me, see how I would contribute, see if it was a fit, and I'm here.
And get this, Carlos landed for his initial visit at 10:30 p.m. and didn't arrive until 11:30 p.m. and the entire coaching staff was there to meet him and answer his questions, at least the entire defensive coaching staff.
I landed at, 10:30, got here at like 11:30, and the whole staff was here. They had all the things that I wanted to get answered question. Each one of them spent time with Coach Reed one-on-one, eating pizza. Then we went in there with Spags and Coach Cullen, watched some tape, basically showed me where I would be, the defense they run, how they call it, his rhythm, and I liked where I fit. So, that morning I signed, yeah.
I mean, maybe that's common for teams to make their entire staff wait up until almost midnight to meet with a veteran like Dunlap who flies in for a quick little visit, but that's freaking dope if you ask me. It definitely paid off for both parties as now he is here, so let's get it cracking. Carlos said he waited until later in the offseason to find a team that was the right fit, where interest was mutual, and of course where he could accomplish a few things he hasn't yet in his 12 years in the league.
I've done a lot of football. One of the things I have not done is, I haven't got over 100 sacks, I haven't won a playoff game, and I haven't clearly won a Super Bowl. So those are things that I would like to do at this point in my career, and I'm in hot pursuit, and I feel like this team gives me a great opportunity, the best opportunity to do it.
Did you hear what he just said? The Chiefs give him the best opportunity in the league to get to the 100 sack mark, win some playoff games, and get a freaking Super Bowl ring. Well, yes, Carlos, you are correct. One thing that did excite him about coming to KC is the opportunity to play every down, not just third downs to close things out.
First and second downs are just as important to me as third down. Obviously, I've done many things on third down, closed many games on third down, but I feel like if you impact the game early on first and second down, you can put the game away even sooner. And
one thing he's excited about is hitting that 100 career sack mark, which he's only 4 shy of right now, but he will be far from satisfied once he reaches that 100 mark.
100 is a big milestone that I will, enjoy and celebrate and be proud of, but 4 sacks on the year is not my goal. I try to average 8. He said 6 the last few years, but I try to average 8 a year, and I want to go for more than that. And I put my money where my mouth is with the deal we did, structured it that way for, the incentives to increase it.
All right, well, we would all love for you to have more than 8 sacks this year, especially considering our sack leader last year was Chris Jones with a total of 9. Yes, please, and freaking thank you, Carlos Dunlap. He said he's still getting a grasp of things, saying it's going to take a little while to learn the installs, and we all know that Spags' defense is very complex, but he's again very excited to be here in KC to do his job to the best of his ability, like he's paid to do, and also teach the young guys all he can along the way. Next up was Skyy Debo Samuel Moore to the podium and immediately answered the question about his hip injury scare from the other day.
It was a one-on-one rep. I just kind of tweaked it a little bit, fell in an awkward way, and I'm cool now, but it was just a minor tweak.
When asked about the punt return work he's been doing, he basically said it's been cool learning the fundamentals of it all, as it's not something he did a ton of in college, but something he has done a lot of is jet sweeps and stuff like that behind the line of scrimmage, and he enjoys doing those kind of plays because the faster, in his words, that he can get the ball into his hands, the faster he can make something happen. So I do like hearing that. He's getting a good grasp of the playbook, saying it's going to take a bit of time still because
I feel like everything in this offense, is counters. We run this play, and this play is a counter to that play. So once you get the basics of everything, it starts to click a whole lot faster.
And Skyy thought the time spent with Pat in Texas during OTAs was a very beneficial time for him to learn how Mahomes thinks, and then said things are starting to click even more now. Mahomes has the keys to the car, vroom vroom, and basically whatever he says as far as route running adjustments are concerned goes.
Tell me what you want me to do. That's how I look at that. He wants it done this way, I'm gonna do it that way. So that's really all that is.
That's right, Skyy. Mahomes says jump. Your answer should always be how freaking high, sir. If Patrick says keep running, keep running, because unlike Tom, shriveled arm 45-year-old geriatric Brady, or Tua, very weak biceps Tagovailoa, he will find you and connect. Skyy has been leaning on the entire receiving room thus far, learning from them all and taking everything in, like a little sponge, similar to Karlaftis or any other rookie for that matter. He then said sometimes it's a bit surreal to be catching passes from the one and only Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest QBs in the game, no big deal. It doesn't really hit him during practice or anything like that, but more so afterwards as he's watching videos back.
Yeah, it's hard to have that type of moment like while I'm playing. But like when I go back home and I'll like see a video or something, I'll be like, dang, like that's crazy.
And in case y'all want to know, Skyy sits right behind Mahomes in the film room and often will utilize that proximity to get clarity when studying film.
So like whenever I got a question, I'll just go tap him real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like just, and he's always able to whisper the answer to me or like how he wants things done.
This is what I want you to do, Skyy. Don't ever stop running. Literally never, ever. And I will find you, like I find Travis Kelce almost always. And in all seriousness, Skyy actually spoke to that exact thing about Travis Kelce, saying he knew before coming to KC that Kelce was one of the best in the league, but after working alongside the man for months now, he now sees firsthand why that is.
He's not really working too much harder, he's working smarter. He's knowing like, oh, there's a dude out there, I'm gonna give a move this way and then just hook up. So it's like, it's a knowledge, the knowledge that he has about the game makes him an even better route runner.
Well, yeah, Kelce is the certified GOAT, Baba, goat sheep, have you any wool. So go ahead and learn all you can from that brilliant man. And why in the heck did you quote a nursery rhyme yesterday's Cole? You little weirdo. How about you stay on script for once and don't say stupid stuff like that? What did you guys think about today's video? Are you excited about Carlos and his lofty goals for this season? What is your sack prediction for that man? Over or under 6? Let me know your thoughts there. And then, what are your thoughts on this wide receiver battle thus far? Are you concerned at all about MVS's drops, encouraged by Mecole's literal 0 drops yesterday? What about Cornell Powell, Skyy Moore, etc.? Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below, and let's thrash about it down there. Per usual, I wanted to shout out Stephen Taylor, Jerry Lucas, Justin Theway, and Hoove for their recent super thanks comments. I appreciate it a ton. You guys, the support has been unreal. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Beautiful little people. Thanks for every like, comment, dono, all of that. And just a heads up, before preseason starts next weekend, my wife and I are getting away for a day and a half, starting now, right after I finish recording this video. A day with no kids, just to focus up, have an adult conversation before the football season drops, because it's going to be a wild one, and I'm going to be bringing some insane content. So no video probably tomorrow, yet I may do an evening live stream after the kids go down. So keep your eyes out for that. Make sure to leave a bearded comment or a super thanks to potentially be featured in the next vid. And like this vid if you haven't already for the obligatory algorithm push. And check out this video here, which is season 3, episode 1 of the franchise that dropped last night. It's freaking glorious. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?